Guys, welcome back. This is Jason with JWClassicVW. That's right, that's the half of the long block back together over here. Got quite a bit done since the last video. We talked about the torque plates and how they're gonna work or not work or what's going on with that. Let me turn you around real quick and kind of show you what we got done and bring you up to speed. So yep, I used the torque plates to go ahead and gap my rings for my pistons. And let me tell you guys what. This little tool here, if you guys have never used one of these ring compressors, this thing is amazing and quite the upgrade from, let's say, these bad boys right here. Yeah, these kind of things, they only last so long, one or two installs, and you guys know I've done way more than that. So I went ahead and honed out, with a stone hone, honed out the cylinders, and then gapped out my total seal rings. You guys saw that in the beginning. Using this really cool ring compressor, I used then, it just sits on top of the piston and you just push it down through there. This thing is amazing. Amazing. Can't recommend it enough. Pretty cool. Got this one from CB Performance. We are getting the other half of the engine together so we can get a long block and one step closer to getting her back in Goose, guys. Goose is my 1956 oval window ragtop, my baby over here. Yeah. I gave you a little peek in the beginning. Everything's been cleaned up. I blew through with some carb cleaner, the push rods, and the push rod tubes have been assembled. Now, some of you guys use different stuff. It comes with these windage tubes, which are kind of opened up a little bit. You can see that it's wider towards this end here, where it comes into the head to help out with making sure you got room for your high lift rockers and your push rods. These push rod tubes right here, make sure they don't rub. That can be a problem with stock push rods. Well, I got these ones from CB Performance too. These are stainless windage tubes, the race kind. Pretty cool. But they come with these. I don't like using those, so I went ahead and put some of the regular seals on here. And I don't use sealing, guys. I've used it in the past, and I don't like it because what happens when you start to torque down the head, these kind of get pinched or get stuck, and I kind of think that that's been a problem with leaks in the past for me. So I started using lube, and I used oil, and that works. But then I started using this assembly lube, and that works out really good. And I just lubed up the seals, and as you torque down the heads, these just kind of push themselves into position where you want them to be, so you don't have any kind of seals or issues. So yeah, let me kind of show you in the bottom of the long block here what I'm talking about. Whew. All right, let's bring it down a little bit closer. You see how the push rod tubes are just seated really good down inside there. Kind of like, I don't know if you've seen this before, where it looks that good to where they are just sunk inside of there. And if you lube these up just right, they will sink inside of the case. And if you look at the head, I also got the same thing, man. There's no bunching, no pinching. Look at how they all are even across. Like, that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, I'm sure you guys are going to have your opinions. I've got mine, you've got yours. Comment below, guys. What do you guys use to seal your push rod tubes? Yeah, that's right. Did you see it? I've also installed the drain plug for the bottom here. This is a captive drain plug. This just, the center portion here comes out, and this is all nice and tight, stainless steel, and it's got a nut on the inside to hold it in place so it won't come loose. I resealed up the whole bottom sump here. This sump is from Race. If you guys, Daryl Howard's my boy, hooks me up with all the good stuff. He's also the guy that I bought this engine from. Good stuff, good stuff. We got some assembly to do, but I wanted to talk to you guys about annealing. Have you ever heard of that? Annealing of copper gaskets? So yeah, I was looking up all kinds of different stuff on how to seal copper gaskets correctly, and I never even knew that you could anneal a copper gasket, heat it up really hot, and then you quench it in some water, and it becomes quite a bit softer. And I was reading through the forums, and I saw it is done quite a bit when it comes to like motorcycles and guys that are sealing up their engines there. So I thought, let me go ahead and try it out for my engine, and it worked out really good on the one side. So we're gonna go ahead and show you guys annealing some copper gaskets. So let's go ahead and get to that. But first, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this content if you're enjoying it, which I know you are. Now, back to the video. Annealing copper gaskets. These gaskets right here, the ones that you get, like you order for your turbo setups, you know, they don't always seal super great. And I've been told that it's not a bad idea to put like a nice thin layer of Yama Bond on your copper gaskets too, which I be honest with you guys, I did put a little thin layer of Bond on there to help out with sealing the copper gaskets, but also you anneal the copper gaskets, which means you heat it up. You heat it up, you take a torch, and then torch, and you heat it up, and some of the places say it's cherry red, but this copper gasket never got cherry red. It just started changing color. So I'm gonna go ahead and heat it up real quick, show you guys what that's all about, and then I'm gonna quench it in the water. So let's go ahead and do that. You wanna keep it nice and even as you're doing it. And yeah, let's burn up the wood. You see it's starting to change colors. Nice and even. You start to see those colors coming in, and that's when you're about ready to quench it. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to get you there. All right, let's go quench it. Can you guys see the water? All right. Ooh, cool sound. Now I just gotta clean it off. It doesn't take much. Let's go ahead and check it, see, are you super hot, man? Oh, no, that would have been really bad if it was still hot. All right, the steel wool, I'm gonna just go ahead and you just run it right across it, and it takes off the kind of black crampiness a little bit. The steel wool to take that off, and then a little bit of carb cleaner to clean off the surface, and then you're ready to rock and roll when it comes to sealing with your copper gasket. It's way softer. I don't want to go and bend it too much, but I'm gonna tell you that it is quite a bit softer, guys, than it is right here. It's really rigid. You can't bend it at all. If you go to try to bend it right now, it'll definitely bend. So yeah, I probably cleaned up these surfaces like a bazillion times, but I kind of feel like you can't clean them up enough. Ooh yeah, turning it over now with the other side in is not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I want to go ahead and get this number 3 rod down as far as I can. That's the wrong direction. You don't want to spend too much time turning the engine over once you've got everything sealed up until you're ready to break her in. You're gonna have to move it over a little bit because I'm gonna go ahead and run through the valves to check those all out, make sure that I'm at a good 0 lash. But everything is where it was before, and I don't expect it to be off that much. So I'm gonna go run through all the lifters here, all the push rod seating surfaces, just to kind of make sure that everything's nice and clean. This area is the most important, right in this area where the cylinders are gonna go ahead and seal up, because I'm gonna be using the Bond 4 to seal up my cylinders this time. I've never tried that before, but I've heard great stuff about Bond, so we're gonna go ahead and try it out and see what we get. You wanna kind of start away from yourself and then work back towards yourself. Put on a little bit of extra out. There's not a huge sealing surface here, but if you move out a little bit, no one's gonna see that, no one's gonna care. A little bit of extra sealing surface. You wanna clean off the inside here, of course. You don't want extra there, like inside there. Let me clean that off in a second. But moving out a little ways isn't gonna hurt nothing. And I'm just gonna coat the spacer. This stuff seals up in about an hour or 2, but it doesn't cure for like 24 hours. That's from what it says. See where it's not seated all the way there yet? We're about to fix that. I was just checking to make sure I got the bevel. My bad. There we go. Good. I'm gonna check all the corners on it. See, that was even up a little bit. All right, let's get ready to install the piston. Use my brush on the piston too. Definitely found that it gives you a bit more control when it comes to managing how you're putting that stuff on there, putting that yum bond on there. I can hear the pressure gurgling inside of there, and we only got one head on. Ooh, that's some good compression in there. Ooh, baby, I need to stay up over here. Let's go, baby, come on. There we go. Ooh, got lucky. I brought this up before, I bring it up again. There is a flat side. A flat side and kind of a rounded side of these clips. The flat side goes out. Flat side goes out. And double, triple, quadruple check to make sure that you've got it seated in there all the way. That's the last thing you want, is it not to be seated in there right. Ooh, that's a great sound. Cool. Let's take the piston all the way down. As I get down to the shim spacer, I want to be careful. Make sure you get in there all the way. It can be a little bit tricky. Oh, there she goes. Just gonna drop this plate on here real quick. Guys, 3 and 4 all installed. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and snap in the cool tins. Some of you guys are like not fans of cool tins, but I got no problems with them. I actually like them. But the only thing I want to do first is I want to kind of put my safety wire on here, because snapping this into place and then trying to fish down into to this side anyway, because everything's like right in the way, becomes an issue. So I'm gonna put my safety wire on this side and then pop it into place and just kind of like hang the safety wire up out of the way real quick. But once that guy's with the safety wire in place, and then else get to putting the head in. Yeah, head, push rod tubes, all the good stuff. Nice thin layer L-bond on the tops of the cylinders. Now let's go ahead and coat the copper gaskets and then stick them in the heads. It's a nice thin layer on those too. Yep, nice thin layer on the copper gaskets. It's not very much at all. I don't know how that would make a huge difference, but we'll see what it does. Let me get these push rod tubes in, and let's drop this head into place. Almost there, guys. We're almost there. Almost got a long block. Make sure we get the seams up. On these ones, it's kind of hard to see them because they're like really well done. There we go. All right, let's bring the head over. That went on really nice. Holy smokes! You go ahead and put some hardware in here, and be back in a second, guys. So I'm gonna torque the head down, and I'll let you guys watch the push rod tubes kind of do their thing as I torque the head down. So I'm sure most of you guys know that the torque sequence, there's 2 of them. The first torque sequence focuses on the push rod tubes themselves and actually collapsing them. That's why you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So as I do that, you'll kind of see things collapse down here. And here we go, guys. Here we go. I'm going to time lapse this, so you should see it pretty quickly. here you go. First torque series is on the left. Final torque series is on the right. I went 20 foot-pounds all the way here, and now I'm going to go ahead and do the 25 and then 25 there. See you in a second, guys. Guys, head is all torqued down to final torque, 25 foot-pounds. Go ahead and install some lash caps now. And you can see I used some silicone in here and cleaned it up. And then we got to put our push rods in and the powder rockers. So a little bit of snake's blood is what they call ultra slick snake's blood on here to help out with just lubing, initial lubing, because that's not going to last very long. Let's go ahead and install our lash caps. Never seen lash caps before. They increase the surface area for the roller rocker. Yeah. So go ahead and just set these on here. We want to be careful. Watch out, guys. You have a hole right here. So I'm just normally I have a rag there. Hopefully it don't bite me in the butt right now, bringing it up. But yeah. We're about to put some push rods in there any old way. Now remember, guys, I've already cleaned all these out and blown them through with some good old carb cleaner. You don't want any debris-filled push rods full of sand and dirt and dust from your garage, which my garage is definitely one of those garages that has plenty of that crap up in here. Oop, there we go. Hey, looky there. Bring it down, gotta line these push rods now. You want to be careful to make sure these all are in place, because if they're not, you could jack up one of the feet or even jack up your push rod if you go to tighten these down and things are not where you need them to be. But we are pretty good to go. Pretty good to go. Yeah, not the snake's blood here. I'm actually going to put a little bit of 10W30 with a little bit of Marvel's Mystery Oil in there too. It's a concoction. A concoction. Some on the rockers, the rollers, all the good stuff, man. There we go. That should be good. "20 foot-pounds of torque." Let's tighten some stuff down. You guys hear that? Oh my goodness. Definitely something there. Alright, let's go ahead and put our valve cover on so we can keep things nice and clean. But she's good to go. Guys, back in business, long block time. Only got a few things left to do to kind of button stuff up before I land her back inside a Goose. Pretty sweet, pretty awesome. So we talked about quite a bit of stuff today. Went over some rebuild things, and also talked about annealing some copper gaskets. You know, these kind of copper gaskets right there, that whole annealing process. I hope you guys are having a good week. Hope you enjoyed this video. We are about to be back on the road, and guess what that means? Dyno time, baby. And I know you guys are super excited to see what Goose lays down at the dyno and get this tuned straight. Whew, lots of stuff coming soon. See you guys in the next video. Get out in the garage, do some work. Haha. Bye-bye, guys.